Well, hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to another info session. Today, we have a special guest with us out of California. Mrs. Jennifer. She's the Senior Content Specialist with the California Evidence Based Clearinghouse. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What time is it over there on your side of the
It
country?
is almost 10:15.
Wow. Okay. So I'm looking at 1:13 over here on this side of town. But all right, so we'll get right into it, right? A lot of times, well, there have been some conversation in our group about what is evidence-based, right? We all have heard or had brochures from the California Evidence Based Clearinghouse, and I think there's a lot of misinformation or some guidance needed around that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we get started, if you could tell me a little bit about, you know, about CEBC, right? That's the abbreviation,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about some of the partners you've worked with, and then we'll get right into a few questions that are piled up.
Sure. No problem. So the CEBC, or the California Evidence Based Clearinghouse for Child Welfare, is funded by the California state. So it's a free resource. The state funds it. They manage it through Rady Children's Hospital, which is where I work down in San Diego. And we work with the Chadwick Center for Children and Families within that. So one of the people on our team is Charles Wilson, who was once the director for Chadwick Center, and he is now retired, but he still works with us on our project.
Okay.
So it was we also, since we're funded by the California state, we work particularly with the Office of Child Abuse and Neglect within the California Department of Children. I think it's Children and Family Services.
Yeah.
CDSS. Anyway, so they fund us, and California is a weird state in that every single child welfare offices are county based. So every single county has their own child welfare offices, and they don't really have a state structure. So when the kids go into child welfare, they become wards of the county, not wards of the state type thing. So it can vary from county to county how it's organized, how it's run, stuff like that. So we have an advisory committee that works with our project that is made up of, we have a member from the Children's Bureau, the Child Welfare Gateway out in DC, and we have a number of members from within California. So a couple of the centers that have been that study child welfare up in Berkeley. A few of the people who work in a local, usually have at least one local child welfare frontline worker or caseworker on the advisory committee, in addition to a number of different directors or deputy directors from around the state. Okay. So there are people who we go to once a year or more often if needed to ask what kind of content, what programs are you looking for, topic areas, stuff like that you'd like added to the website, and kind of give them an update of what's going on. Okay. So we also work with a number of child welfare researchers from around the country on our scientific panels. And that's been in place since the project began, kind of helped us figure out how to handle the research end and look at the research of child welfare, which 15 years ago was different than it is now.
Right.
And that's why we meet with them once a year, is because things are constantly moving, changing, even different research study types, different everything that kind of falls into the research end. And we also added, since we launched probably about 10 years ago, maybe a little less, an implementation science panel that works with implementation people, experts around the country, and the research of it to give us an idea of what to include on that end of it. So.
Well, I think you touched up on all of my questions, actually, to be honest with you. But I'm still going to ask you the questions, all right? Okay. So I get right into it. All right. So state child welfare agencies are increasingly aware of the need to focus their resources on programs that have demonstrated results, right? Especially for achieving positive outcome as measured in the CFSR, right? Child and family service reviews, right? What is the CEBC's role, connection, contribution in that process, involvement in that process?
Yeah, of course. Well, the CEBC wants to help agencies identify programs that have both demonstrated results and meet the needs of the state or local agency. To do this, the CEBC, we provide a registry of over 500 programs and 54 topic areas related to child welfare services. Part of the description for each program is the review of available published peer-reviewed articles on research studies evaluating the program. The review of articles results in a rating on the CEBC, on that scientific rating scale of 1 through 5, being put into a not able to be rated category. This helps the agency see how effective the program has been in research studies. The remainder of the description helps the agency or organization determine if the program is a good fit for their needs. While we strongly encourage using programs demonstrated effectiveness, just in general, we believe that agencies also need to balance the program fit to ensure successful outcomes.
Okay, so you said earlier there's a lot of programs that are there to support children or families that are involved in child welfare, right? So with all these programs that are available, how do you guys decide what you will include, right? How do you pick which one to list, or what's the qualification criteria to be on the list?
Great question. The backbone of the CEBC's program registry is its topic area structure. So when we launched, we had 2 topic areas that we launched with, and that was the parent training programs and trauma treatment for children and adolescents. Right. Those were chosen among 5 of the first topic areas. These happened to be the first 2 that were ready with enough programs. I think one of them had 8 programs and one of them had 9 programs in it when we first started. We had 3 other topic areas launched that year in addition. So from the beginning, the CEBC has added new topic areas of focus each year. And then it meets with its advisory committee every year, which includes its funders, along with people I mentioned before, and they vote actually on which 2 topic areas they would like to have added or re-reviewed in the next coming year. If it's a new topic area, the CEBC staff finds a topic expert who is familiar with the area of focus and the programs available in that area. Over the years, some of the topic areas have been split into 2 or more topic areas, either due to the size or the focus of the area. For example, we split our parent training programs between parent training programs that address child abuse and neglect and parent training programs that address problem behaviors, so that there would be 2 different focuses on what the focus is. Is it to prevent child abuse or is it to help? Because we also look for direct results. So we don't want to say a program helps with this thing, which may help with abuse or neglect. Right. We kind of want the programs to be studying the actual abuse or neglect to be rated in that category and to have a goal of reducing or addressing child abuse and neglect to be in that category, as opposed to just wanting to take care of problem behaviors. Anyway, and then at first, we also used to just accept program submissions. If somebody said, hey, we want to be on your website, we'd say, great. But however, it's gotten pretty big. So we now have a set open submission period. And it's actually coming up in November. And there's more information about that on the website. In the open submission periods, we do focus on adding programs to existing topic areas with an emphasis on programs with research evidence or topic areas that currently have few rated programs. So for example, our anger management topic area for adults, which a lot of parents are referred to anger management courses as part of their before they can get back. Well, none of those programs in that website in that area actually have research studies and peer-reviewed journals that can support them. So they might have their own personal research or research reports that they've done, but they haven't ever gone through the process of trying to get them into it or successfully getting them into a journal. I don't know about trying. So we don't have any rated programs in that in that topic area. So there are places where we will add things. LGBTQ, our topic area that supports those kids in child welfare doesn't have as much research in it. So we'll tend to add programs to that topic area, as it's a relatively new one, and just in general. And so the research is coming, but probably that's not there yet. So.
You said, well, thank you. You said something earlier,
Sure.
and I wanted for you to educate us a little bit on that.
Okay.
Right? What is the difference between evidence-based practice and evidence-supported interventions? Well, what is, break that down for me, please.
Sure. No, that's a great question. So evidence-supported interventions are programs that have research that shows that they're effective. What we use is they have to have that research published in a peer-reviewed journal to show that they're effective for us to give them a rating of evidence, of having the evidence support. So evidence-based practice, however, is not only about having the best research evidence. So true evidence-based practice is also about what the provider thinks is needed for the family and child, and based both on their clinical experience and judgment, as well as the best fit for the child, family, and community values. So not every program fits every kid. Right. So you want to make sure that you get ones that are either maybe they're a cultural adaptation for a population you're working with, or maybe they're just the child that you're working with, biological parents and family structure doesn't fit every program. So you want to make sure that it fits the program that you're picking. Our programs on the website are rated, if they're rated a 1, 2, or a 3 on our scientific rating scale, they're evidence-supported interventions. So 1 is the highest score with a well-supported research evidence that requires a couple of randomized controlled trials, not just 2 articles on the same trial, but 2 actual trials that have been done with one of them has to have a 12-month follow-up after the intervention stops. So basically you give the intervention, 12 months later, you test again and see if the stuff has stuck. And then for a 2, which is the second highest rating, it's at least 1 randomized controlled trial with a 6-month follow-up. And then those who have a 3, it's called promising research evidence, can have a variety of different things in that category. There could be randomized controlled trials with less than 6-month follow-up could be in there, and or it could just be a non-randomized comparison trial or comparison study that was done, but something that showed it had better effect than nothing. Or whatever it was tested against. Sometimes the testing against can get a little tricky. Everything's spelled out in the scale. And then one other thing is that the CEBC users can use the detailed program entry, which is about all of the program, to help determine if the program is a good fit for the family or child in their professional judgment, or if it has good values and family fit type thing. So the descriptions are pretty long or can be long. They are actually little drop-down menus on our website. And so we can, so for each program, we discuss essential components, what makes it unique. I give a brief overview at the top for a paragraph, like overview of it, and then you can expand out. And so we include like program delivery. How is it given? Is it available at schools, at whatever, all the way through different things. So there's a lot of information on the website to give you an idea of what the program does.
So I have a question for you. So I know with all programs or practices, implementation is a big piece of success, right? So do you have any tools available as far as the implementation piece of a program?
Yes, we do. We do have some tools in place. We actually have a whole side of the website, which I did not mention before. So we have a program registry, and then we have an implementation side. It's okay. And the implementation side was created out of necessity because we were getting a lot of requests for technical assistance and idea, and basically come on into our county and tell us what we should be doing. We don't want to tell you what we should be doing. You guys need to figure that out. So what we did is we created an implementation guide, which is on the website. It's in the process of being updated, but the core of it is still valid, and it is a very good tool to use, especially if you're just in the beginning of what do I need to do to implement a new project and do it as well as possible, or
Right.
a new program. So, and I don't even know what program. I just know we need a parent training program. What should
Right.
we put in? And so we have, we subscribe to helping using the EPIS model, which is, it is off of its implementation model that was Greg Ahrens created, and he's here in San Diego. And but he does, it has a E is exploratory and P is preparation. And those two are planning. So those two are the ones that the CEBC gives tools to help with.
Okay.
So the exploratory is we have our program registry that you can go through and look and see what fits your
population.
needs. Exactly. Thank you. And so we actually have tools within the implementation guide that asks basically worksheets that say, here,
Right.
fill this out, if you're looking at these programs. And then with the preparation, we talk about building an implementation team and how to kind of get that first rolling. So ideally what you end up with is the I in EPIS is implementation and the S is sustainability. So if
Right.
you kind of, the idea is that if you start right, then you're going to hopefully finish right.
Sustain. Right.
And sustain it.
Okay.
And have a plan in action for how you have new workers coming in. How are you going to get those people trained and keep the intervention going? So.
Right. Okay. So on the website, right, since you mentioned the website, does it only contain evidence-supported interventions?
No, it does not.
No. Okay. No.
I've always thought of it and kind of explained it to people as a truth in advertising type website. So what we offer is we have a not able to be rated category, which we mentioned before. And actually almost half of the programs on our website are put into that category due to limited research. So, or if any. So the program may have research, but it wasn't ever published in a peer-reviewed journal, or which the reason we use that standard is we use it as a gold standard of somebody else put their eyes on this, questioned it, had some input as to the research, and agreed that it was worthy of being in this journal. So we really try to use something else because we know that systemic reviews are very lengthy and we don't have the staff nor the time to do that and to provide the kind of information we do. So we definitely look at only the peer-reviewed research. So we also know that there are many programs being used that have not been well studied yet. And we want to identify those. So they could either be in their infancy, they're out there, they think that the need is there, that they're going to put the program out there without having the research there, but they are actually in the process of researching it. We have a number of programs that keep telling us, oh, we have a study out there, we're going to, hopefully he'll have a paper in the next year or two. I'm like, that's great. I always encourage that. But it does what it does do is it makes the CEBC a great place to go if you hear about a program, but don't know a lot about it, or if any published peer-reviewed research has been conducted on it. Because we review and describe the programs regardless of whether they have a strong evidence base or not. We clearly identify the programs without a strong research base by putting them in the not able to be rated category, and to keep the information on the evidence base current for each program. The research staff, our small research staff, conducts an extensive literature review for every program that's rated. So if you're rated a 1 through 5 on the website, we don't have any 5s, but 1 through 5, you get a extensive lit review done every 2 years on your program. And if you're not rated, but you have new research, and usually those people are they're very motivated to get research to us. And so the not able to be rated people tend to send us their new research and say, hi, we have this, can you please review it? And hopefully for them, it'll turn into a rating of a 3 or higher, depending on what kind of research they have coming in. So, and then occasionally, if we happen to run across seeing a presentation about a program that's on the website, but it is in our category, or something else, if the CEBC staff sees it, if we see papers out there, we will add it ourselves to their research review. That doesn't happen very often. Usually the programs get to us before we do. So,
well, I have another question for you. Well, I have a bunch more. But I don't think we're going to get into all of them. But this one is, I'm trying to think of all the different titles within our industry, child welfare. So we've got in some regions, some areas, some state counties, you've got the director, you've got the deputy director, you've got program administrator, you've got operations manager, you've got supervisors, and you've got the frontline staff, right? And they all, must understand, right, the importance of how evidence-based practice applies to child welfare services, right? And be aware of the resources and the tools that are available to assist them. So is there, on the website, is there a list of evidence program? Like, for example, I have this need. I might be able to, I have and based on my data, I'm seeing there's a trend for, there's a lack of C. Can I go on on the website and then look, okay, then is there a list that could assist me in that and finding that program that's called C?
So what we have is we have an advanced search feature on the website. So if you go into the programs and search for a program, it will be one of the options underneath it. So advanced search, and that allows the programs to be searchable by scientific rating level, topic area, age group, delivery setting. Actually, delivery setting is a keyword. So hold on, let me think about which ones are in there. I think that, it's the child welfare outcomes. We talked about the CSFRs. And so we actually, for every program that's rated 1, 2, or a 3 on the website, we do classify whether the outcome falls under safety, permanency, or child well-being, or family well-being. So you can actually search for those. So if you're trying to find something to help with safety in your area or permanency, you can choose that in the advanced
based
search
on those
also.
groups. Now, does it go into the specific outcomes, each of the outcomes from within the 3 safety, parents, and well-being, or is it just on
it's just the general categories, and then and then the research itself for the program would kind of talk about which what type of child well-being had the outcomes in it. So
that's awesome. That's awesome because I know with the CFSR that's a struggle for all states, right? And I think that what I mean, it's a way to keep our service delivery consistent across the U.S. So I think that it's very important, but it's a thing that we always struggle with, right?
Right, exactly.
And I think that is, sometimes, there could be a review done and the state is placing a tip, right? But then trying to figure out, okay, how do we address this? What are some stuff we put in place to address that? I think that's awesome that your website has that, where it's broken down into the 3 safety, parents, and well-being. You could say, okay, we're struggling, in permanency. Let's go and find out what can we do. Yes. Is there a program that could train our foster parents on this behavior, or how can we ensure that we're not moving the kids unnecessarily, or keeping the siblings together, or whatever that
so we have placement stabilization as one of our topic areas. We have reunification as one of our topic areas. We have a number of the ones that fall on the permanency as just topic areas, and then the programs within it. We also do recommend using the implementation guide I mentioned before and other resources on the implementation side of the website to help decide which programs to select and implement, since there are more factors than just the research. So as we mentioned before, program fit is when you look at all the factors to see if the program is right for the population you are working with. And then, like I said, implementation side has a really good resources for that. But yes, everything we try to give you guys enough information to kind of at least start working on stuff. One of the other things that we do offer that is part of it is when you do find a program that you really do like, and you go, okay, great. So I've used your tools to do the exploratory part and the preparation part, but now I want to implement. Well, on each program on our website, there's a contact. Either their website, a person's name, training, all that stuff is there for the program. So we really recommend that you reach out to the program representative that's on the website and reach out to them to then talk about implementation and awesome. getting it into your organization.
It's all boxed up and pretty up and hand delivered, right?
Exactly.
All right. So Jennifer, listen, I couldn't move forward without asking you, how you guys doing with COVID? How is that impacting service delivery for you guys? Because that's a conversation everywhere right now, and I'm interested to hear how are you guys doing over there?
We're doing okay. Our own little force of our team, which consists of, we have a researcher as a child welfare expert. That's our former director for Charles Wilson, used to be a former child welfare state director. So we have some child welfare experience in there. And then we have editing and marketing and those types of skills there. But our little team went remote primarily. A couple people went into the office, and then the rest of us went to our homes and didn't go anywhere for a year. And we've actually been expanded across the country with that because of people who got their husbands got transferred or are on deployment, so they're temporarily at home, their home state. So we have that. But we also do know that it impacted all kinds of things related to the programs on our website. Right. So they had to pivot quickly to do virtual delivery services, just like the Chadwick Center that we are part of. All the therapy went virtual very fast, very quickly. It was kind of amazing how much that changed. But knowing those kids who need trauma treatment, whether they're stuck at home or able to come into an office, was a big driving factor. So. And then many of the programs on our website have sent in updates and added the virtual delivery setting to their descriptions. Some were already in the works and have now been adding some peer-reviewed research and about the virtual delivery into to our website. And we are planning an expansion of collected information. So this is a big thing, is that we already have about a 5-page questionnaire that we send out to program reps to get added to the website, asking them everything under the sun that's on our website. And so now we're expanding. We're planning on adding another 5-6 questions at least, plus some sub questions about virtual delivery. Has it been tested? Has anything changed? Are the core components of your program still the same, but now you're just doing it over Zoom? How is it working? So and starting with our open submission period in November and moving forward, we're going to be asking new programs for that information, and also contacting our existing programs as we do the annual or biannual reviews for them, asking them for new that information in addition. So it'll be a slow process to get that information on the website but hopefully we'll have a lot of people giving it to us, which we already do. Probably have more updates on programs this year than we've had for a long time, primarily, I think, because they want to get that virtual information out there that they can work in a lot of different ways than they thought they could. So.
And I think that's that is important, because if you think about it, a service being provided face to face might have a different outcome versus being provided virtually. And I'll be interested to see the outcome of their response to you all versus before virtually we were doing it face to face. Here is what it looked like. Now we're doing it virtually. Here is whether it's successful or whatever that change may be. That'd be interesting to see. So, got a question for you. So now with our followers, this is we're here for professional growth for all our followers, right? And a lot of us are looking for different avenues, professional growth, right? What if someone wanted to work with you guys? They wanted to get more into the, I would say, practice, implementation, research part of child welfare. How can they join your team? What are the criteria? What vacancies? What any upcoming events that you have? Give us the golden nuggets.
Sure. Well, our team is pretty small. We're all working at, we started all in San Diego. We actually, like I mentioned before, we have a couple of people who have moved cross country. We have one. We actually have 2 different teams in our project. So I've mentioned the website, and we talked about the website at length. What I haven't mentioned yet is the California Institute for Training, or California Training Institute. Sorry, I got the wrong name. California Training Institute. And it is a newly funded arm of our project that just launched pretty much beginning of this year, end of last year. And they are offering, it was originally going to be so you guys kind of looked out across the country, because it was originally going to be in-person trainings in California, really focused on California, so forth and so on. Then COVID hit, and it became all virtual.
Got to give it to all of us.
Yes, so now we're giving it to all of you for free. So it's they have a whole website of their own. It's called Caltrin, so CALTRIN, and caltrin.org. You can find it on our website too. We have a link to it, and it is offering all virtual trainings. So it just came out with its fall curriculum, and it has all kinds of great information coming out to people about child welfare practices. And I wish I could like tell you more in detail, but check out their website.
Right.
As for our website, we've also, the CEBC has also offered a few different webinars every year. And one of the ones that we're doing, actually, we have two coming up in the next 4 weeks, believe it or not. So you guys kind of lucked out timing wise that way too. One of them is from an expert on fetal alcohol spectrum disorder interventions and child welfare in particular. So she reached out to us asking if we could put what kind of resources we had about it. And I said, hey, you know, we just loaded this topic area this year on it, and rated programs that are trying to work with kids who have FASD. And so we are trying, so Catherine Page is her name, and she's doing a webinar on, I think it's this week even. I think it might be on the 13th. So it might be tomorrow. So just check it out and see. I think the registration is still open for it. And then we also have one of our implementation, one of our people who's very involved in implementation of her program, KEEP, Patty Chamberlain. She's a researcher, and so she is going to be talking about the implementation of KEEP. I think it's KEEP, not Keep Safe, but either way, she's involved in both. And so she'll be talking and doing a webinar on fidelity in particular in November, early November. And then going back to our team in particular, so CEBC team, we are actually going to be looking for a full-time editor. It's what I do, what I've always done since I started on the project, and it is pretty much trying to take what the information that the programs give us, put it into a uniform format so that when you're looking from program to program, you're looking from apples to apples, not apples to oranges, and about descriptions. Removing marketing language, removing those wonderful keywords like evidence-based. We actually do not put evidence-based in our descriptions for the programs. We let the ratings and the research talk for itself, not using any of those buzzwords that people like to put in their descriptions. And so it is a full-time editor position. It's a great way to stay involved in helping with kids and with child welfare, but not having to work with kids. And I actually work from home. I'm one of the few people who is going to be, aside from the ones who moved across country, who are going to be working from remotely from my house all the time. We decided that I can do my job here. I have I have a little bit of health issues myself. My family has a bunch of health issues. And so it allows for flexibility with doctor's appointments a lot easier and stuff like that. So any rate, so we are looking for an editor. Just kind of check out. We're going to be, we work through Rady Children's Hospital in San Diego. So you'd have to look on their website for it. I would probably put a link on our website for it too, once it goes live. But there are a lot of different places out there for working with child welfare kids without working with the kids. So, and I always wanted to find somewhere where I was making a difference with my job. And I highly believe that anywhere that you can provide resources for people like you guys who are out there in the trenches working with the families is beneficial. So if you ever need to kind of give yourself a break and look somewhere else and try to find some place local, or give us a shout and see if we need some help. So
all right, guys, thank you. Well, all right, guys, I'm sure you guys will, if anything, you'll be looking at the website to see the vacancy that they have, especially hearing working remotely, right? And a lot of folks want to remain in child welfare, but looking to do a different type of work, child welfare related type work. So that's awesome to hear. Now, how can we contact you? If you don't mind, what is the website
Sure. So our website address is www.cebc4cw.org. And like I said, it's free. Our email address is on the website, but it's info at CEBC, at our website address, CEBC4cw.org. We do put out an email alert twice a month. And usually the first alert tends to be resources that we're sharing from other people that we've seen come through, or new resources that we put up on our website a little bit there. And then the second alert every month near the end of the month tends to have our new programs that we added that month. We also do have one of the things that's interesting for a lot of people who are working on the screening and assessment part end of getting kids into the right programs, getting kids, stuff like that. We do have a measurement tools section for child welfare. And we've added a few measurement tools this last month. But those new tools will also be mentioned in an email alert that will come out in the month. And we also add new topic area summaries where you can kind of just get a glance what our topic areas include in them, or we also have other resources that we put together for either webinars or for exhibiting at conferences. So we're always moving towards trying to have the most current information out there. We're looking at, for example, we loaded infant and toddler mental health back in I think 2008. So it was a while ago, maybe 2009. And I attended one of those grand rounds that our hospital offered about early childhood mental health. And I realized that in 2016, some of the changes went through that was 0 to 5 instead of 0 to 3. And that it should be basically early childhood mental health instead of infant and toddler mental health. So now I've started even with my little saying, hey, maybe we should change this and make sure that our topic area definition matches what the current is out there. So we do know that what we're doing is we're always putting new information out there, but we are trying our best to look at these older topic areas that we've had on for a long time and revamping them or making sure that they're staying current. Exactly. And we actually, if you see something on there that doesn't look right to you, that info email box goes straight to me, and I'll always read whatever comes in and either get back to you as to why it's the way it is, or go, great, thank you for the input, and we'll make that change. Yeah. so either way, we are very attentive to our email box and our users. We're very appreciative of everybody. We have thousands of people who use our website I think it's 20 to 30,000 who use our website every month. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So we want to make sure the information out there is as accurate as possible.
It's needed as well. Well, are there any last words that you want to share with us? This was very informative. Are there any last words that you want to share with us?
Thank you, first of all, for everything you guys do for your kids and your communities and your families, and just keep on learning. I know that CEUs are hard things to come by, and sometimes it's really hard to do. But as this whole field is learning, I just went virtually, attended the Kemp conference last week, and the whole everything, the call to action for change in child welfare. I mean, you guys are in the midst of this reckoning between the way things have always been done and the way things need to be done in the future. So keep educated, keep listening, keep out there, do what you can to make sure that everybody who needs the help gets the help the way they need it. So.
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, all right, guys. Please remember to look up the website, for information for your agency, or if you are a program administrator or upper leadership folks that are looking for a program to meet a need in your community, right?
Yes.
This would be a great place to find the right program that will meet those needs. Once again, I don't want to screw up the website. I'm going to let you say it.
Yes. It's www.cebc4cw.org.
Wonderful. And also, guys, remember what she said, there is a vacancy. So if you're looking to do a little switch into more of the research side of child welfare, definitely that would be a great opportunity for you. All right.
Yep.
Well, guys, I'm Val, your fellow child welfare professional, and let's stay connected.